You are welcome to Vedic TV, where you get information based on fact.
Breaking news. Few hours after Simon Ekpa was arrested, Nnamdi Kanus sent an urgent message to court. See what he requested. To my dear listeners, right here, this is Nnamdi Kanus sending a message to Simon Ekpa after a few hours he was arrested in Finland. Well, rightly before I go into details, I must really say that don't you think the federal government lacks the government to tackle the insurgency in the country? And there is this one of the few former head of state. I really can't remember the name. Probably it's Abacholo. I don't know. That says any insurgency that passes 24 hours, it has the hand of the government in it. So here is what I'm trying to say here, that you know there are a few insurgency going on in some other states. People like Bello Toji, people like others are in the forest moving freely. But my question now is, why is it that the government are tackling the Biafra the more? I just think this thing needs to has to do with strategy, not that because this is just a pure hatred for the Biafran itself. Now, see how Nnamdi Kanu is been arrested in Kenya, and now they want to do the same thing to Simon Ekpa, only because the Finland government are not like Kenya. That is why um, Simon Ekpa is not being renditioned here to Nigeria. So now before I go into details, stay tuned as I read today's news. The legal battle involving Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, continues to unfold as a petition to the court to overappeal in Abuja for an extension of time to appeal a 2021 Federal High Court ruling that ordered his detention. Kanu, who has been in custody since his controversial arrest and extradition from Kenya in June 2021, is seeking to challenge the legal processes that led to his ongoing detention. Barrister Aloy Ejimako, Kanu's special counsel, revealed on Thursday that the IPOB leader's arrest and subsequent court appearance on June 29, 2021 were shrouded in secrecy. According to Lejimako, the Federal High Court conducted a hearing and issued a detention order without notifying Kanu's legal team, which he argued was a blatant violation of a constitutional right. The council labeled the procedure unconstitutional and a direct infringement on Kanu's right to a fair hearing. In his application, Kanu requested the appeal court to grant him additional time to file his appeal against the decision delivered by Justice Bintal Unyakol of the Federal High Court. He emphasized that the time frame to lodge an appeal had already elapsed, necessitating his plea for an extension. Kanu's legal team argued that the trial court denied him a fair hearing, which is a fundamental principle of justice under the Nigerian Constitution. The application highlighted that the June 29, 2021 proceedings resulted in Kanu's remand without his or his counsel's input. This action, they claim, violated Section 169 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act (ACJA) of 2015, which stipulates specific procedures for revoking bail or remanding a defendant. The legal team argued that remanding Kanus in the custody of the State Security Services (SSS) instead of prison was an irregularity that further compromised his right. Among the relief sought, Kanus is asking the appeal court to set aside the Federal High Court's remand order and release him on bail under the same or adjusted terms of his prior bail conditions. Alternatively, he requested that if detention continues, he be moved from SSS custody to prison, adhering to standard judicial practices. This development underscores the contentious nature of Kanus' case, which has drawn widespread attention and sparked debate about due process, human rights, and the rule of law in Nigeria. Kanus' arrest, which involved alleged extraordinary rendition from Kenya, has already been condemned by human rights groups and legal experts as a breach of international law. The case remains a significant point of contention in Nigerian politics, with IPOB and its supporters insisting on his innocence and framing the legal proceedings as politically motivated. As the Court of Appeal considers his motion, the outcome is likely to have broader implications for the ongoing tensions between the Nigerian government and separatist movements in the country. To my dear listeners, here we've come to the end of our today's news. Just right before I go, we all know that Nnamdi Kanus is still in the detention of the DSS, and he's been subjected to some treatment which is against the human right. But he's one of the bone of the contention. But right here, I want us to look at the key problems exactly. Don't you really think the federal government should have a round table with these people? I think that's one of those things that would solve problems that we're having in this country. Well, so to my dear listeners, now we've come to the end of our today's news.